Hi, my name is Phil Anderson, and I'm running for United States Senate to represent Wisconsin. One of the questions and accusations that gets hurled at libertarians from time to time is that we don't believe in any regulation whatsoever. It's sort of a wild, wild west atmosphere that we think people should be able to do whatever they want. And that's not true. We understand and believe that the proper role for government is to safeguard those rights that we all have as human beings, and that is the right to life, liberty, property, privacy. Those are things that belong to human beings just by virtue of our existence, and therefore government has a legitimate right to protect those things through laws. So, for example, we generally don't believe that it's okay to just shoot your gun off all over your neighborhood and disregarding the consequences that might have to your neighbors or passersby in their property. That would be silly. Obviously, an after-the-fact remedy through the court system isn't going to make somebody whole if they're dead or injured or their property is irreparably damaged. Similarly, we don't want and wouldn't ascribe to getting rid of all speed limits because driving over a certain mile per hour on any road is a predictable hazard to the safety of the other people that use that road. So we're not in favor of getting rid of speed limits, but that's actually a proper role of government to set speed limits and then enforce them because you're creating a predictable hazard for other people if you exceed those speed limits. Now, I've got a little bit of an object lesson here for you on this particular subject. Right now, we're looking down the row at my grapevines. I've got 8 Marquette grapevines, which make a wonderfully delicious, high-quality Pinot Noir-like red wine if used properly. Last year was my first full crop. I hope to get a full crop this year, although I'll be quite busy running for United States Senate, so I might not be able to attend to them as I would like to, but nonetheless, I'm going to do my best. So currently the law says that I cannot make more than 200 gallons of wine for my own use. So why 200 gallons? I believe that the assumption is that anything under 200 gallons, and it's a legitimate sort of amount for what I might drink or give away in a year, and over 200 gallons, I must be a bootlegger or somebody that's going to sell the wine, and therefore the government should require me to file for a license, to be approved by the county or by the local municipality, as well as pay taxes at various levels for producing alcohol. I think that's pretty ridiculous because certainly, I could produce more than 200 gallons of wine, drink quite a bit of it if I chose, give away plenty of it, and not sell it, and that would be sort of with defeat the idea that there's somehow some commerce going on that they're not getting their piece of. I could certainly produce 50 gallons of it, not drink any of it, and sell that if we're good enough quality to sell and make money on it, and the government wouldn't be getting a piece of that. So it really doesn't make sense to have it set at 200 gallons. Really what it is not a way to sort of regulate commerce as it were, but just a way for the government to get their piece. That's really what regulation is about. When you're required to file for a license, when you're required to pay a tax over a certain amount of production of some good or service or whatever, it's just the government trying to collect revenue on it. It's really not about public safety because I could give away 10 gallons of crappy wine, poisonous wine, poison plenty of people. That would be a crime, obviously, so they're not really protecting against that. I could make 300 gallons of wine a year. It could be of the highest quality. I could give it away, so there's not even a transaction that they would be coercing tax out of me. It doesn't really make much sense. What they should just do is allow people to produce without licenses, without too much regulations. If there should be regulations against creating things that are poison and knowingly selling them, that's obviously something that's predictable to a certain extent. But the fact that the limit for producing wine is 200 gallons a year is somewhat arbitrary. It doesn't make sense, and it's just a way for the government to find some level that seems agreeable, some guess that to somebody makes sense, and to try to collect tax revenue or to stifle the enterprise of people that could make 300, 400, 500 gallons, 1,000 gallons of wine a year and make money selling it to people. They don't want that to happen. That's an entrepreneur's attitude to build up, make money, to do well, to create a good product, something that people want, to sell it, to make money on it. But the government doesn't want that to happen without them getting their piece of the action, and that's probably why the limit is set at 200 gallons a year. As your senator, we'll take a strong, hard look at regulations at a federal level. We'll do our best to make sure that all regulations that exist that make sense and don't stifle entrepreneurship, that don't stifle people trying to get into the market of producing goods and services, not just working for somebody else, but producing goods and services that are marketable. And we'll do our best to get the governmental handcuffs off of people so that they can produce goods and services and move up the economic ladder and do better and better for themselves and not have some of it being taken away by force from a coercive federal government. That is one of my goals as your senator. Thanks, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.